The first award this year will be the Youth Leadership Award. This one was sponsored by the Washington County Farm Bureau office, and I would like to welcome Ryan New to come up here and present the award for this year.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan New. Many of you guys probably don't know me. I teach social studies and government at the high school. Seth Robinson, who I'm going to be presenting this award to today, has no idea why I'm here. He thought I was some representative of the high school, as if that would actually be a thing, but that's okay. That's okay. Youth is good. Youth is good. So 48 hours ago, my wife gave birth to our second child, which is... Thanks for pretending I actually did anything in the entire thing. It's great. But I thought it was great to sort of start this way. That for those who have children, you remember this absolute fear that you have whenever the kids are first born, where you think every moment they're going to die. There's nothing you could do about it. And as these kids grow older, right, you recognize that your role as a parent becomes less and less and less, right, as they become sort of striving for independence, which is something that as an educator and as a parent is something that I want for my students and for my children. So that whenever you get a student like Seth Robinson, right, who is overly engaged in activities and is becoming one of these leaders, this is a big sigh of relief by the Robinsons, right, to know that their son is going to be fine in the world. That it's not going to be up to others, right, to determine things for him, that he's going to be able to determine this for himself. Where his path began in high school, as far as I've had Seth for 4 straight years, right, as a student, and he's getting ready to become something that is always great for an educator, that if you know a student well enough, that eventually they become a friend, right, which is something that is not always mentioned in high school. Seth has been involved in student council, right, senior class president, junior class president, sophomore class president. He's a member of NHS, part of the 4-H, part of the team leadership, part of the golf team, part of the inaugural bass fishing team that our schools put on, was a Hobie winner, last year went to Governor's Scholar, was integral in the debates that we do at the high school, the intramural debates, the debate club that we started, that he's a part of. I had Seth in what I would consider hopefully 2 of the hardest classes, AP US History and AP Government. Seth destroyed both of those exams and has already earned quite a bit of college credit for himself. What's great about Seth is that he's going on, just asking what colleges he's applied to. He's applied to the honors program at Western, UK, to Center, to Transy. This is a young man who's going to be able to go places, and it's nice to be able to say that at least I knew him whenever I was much smarter than him. But we'll see as it comes on. So please welcome Seth Robinson.
Don't you? It's up here somewhere. There you go.
I would appreciate it. All right, well, I thought I was coming just to get a nice meal and I was going to get to dress up and look nice, but I guess the parents tricked me a little bit more than I thought. But it's like to thank the city, thank the chamber. It's an honor to think that I am what they think exemplifies a youth leader in the community. And you know, coming into senior year, I think I've worked hard, and this, along with my governor's scholar, I think it's kind of the culmination of my high school, and ready to move forward. And hopefully, my plan as of right now is to hopefully get into the Honors College at Western. So, just like to thank my family, great teachers, great friends. I've always had a lot of people backing me. I've always had a lot of support. I always tried to work hard, and it's an honor to think that I can be the individual that youth here in the community look up to, and that's what I've always tried to work towards. So thanks again, and it's very, very well appreciated and very, very much of an honor.
Try to remember to get the award out first this time. There we go. Next award we'll be presenting tonight is the Sidewalk Hall of Fame, which was sponsored by the City of Springfield. And I'd like to have Isaac Sutton to come up and present this award, please.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Co. I'm just going to read off this paper if you don't care. Tonight, it's an honor to present the award for Sidewalk Hall of Fame. The Sidewalk of Fame award is given to an individual or company who has volunteered their time or provided financial support for the annual Harvest Festival. This year, however, the award will be given to a very special couple. A couple with an enduring love for their small town and its events. Through their actions, they have taught me that one of the best ways to give back to a town you love is to get involved. For the past 7 years, this couple has worked hard to make sure every child from this and surrounding counties have a wonderful experience at the festival. Along with their small band of volunteers, they make sure that all frogs have jumped, all toy tractors have raced, and that all corn has been toe-shucked. I'm just happy that I was able to be a part of their crew these past few years. I think it's safe to say that we have just as much fun as the kids do. This year's Sidewalk Hall of Fame goes to two of my favorite people in the whole world, my parents.
So much. We're greatly honored.
She didn't have a clue. She did not have a clue. And Isaac told me about 2 weeks ago that she was going to get this award.
We are going to get this award.
I wasn't in the mix. Isaac, there's going to be payback for this.
We love doing it. We've had so much fun. We love it just as much as the kids.
You know, we couldn't do it alone. We've done it for 6 or 7 years. We've had a lot of people that have stepped up and volunteered with us. Gail Worthington has been with us from the beginning. She'll be doing one kid's games while we'll be doing another. Sam Clemens will come and help out. Jerry Grider and his family do the frog jumping contest. And I think Jonathan Warner and Isaac did it again this year. And we had a record number of frogs this time. I mean, it must have been a good year for frogs. But I think we need to adjust the game, because when you got frogs jumping and 20, 25 kids chasing them, you have some casualties. And
it was pretty sad this year.
But we've got to thank Green Line Tractor. We call out there and say we need your pedal cars and pedal tractors, and they'll say they're here when you need them. And call down Southern States, talk to Tony, and say, Tony, we need 6 bales of straw for the games, and he says, they're here. So it's not just us; it's other people that step up and do it. But this festival before last, I told Bale, I said, I think we need to give it up. We've done it enough.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years. She never said yay or nay, but I told her that. But anyway, this past fall, Isaac came in and said, we've got somebody new for the kids' games. I said, well, that's great. I said, who is it? He said, me. One more time. But anyway, we really appreciate it. It's an
thank
honor
you
to do
so
it,
much.
and it's all her. I mean, she's,
Oh, it's not. It isn't.
She
He
loves-
has to live with me.
she loves these kids. She's been around, nothing makes her more happy than teaching and being with kids. I guess you have to love them after 36 years of teaching.
Really.
And even now, she volunteers at the grade school and tutors, and she said she needs her kids fixed.
Yeah, that's right, I do.
I think she just needs to get away from me.
No, it's not.
But anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, the next award we'll be presenting is the Entrepreneur of the Year. This one is sponsored by Parkview Home Center. I'd like to welcome Steve Smith to come up and present the award this year. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I could get in a little trouble for presenting this award because the person that's going to receive it just kind of likes to fly under the radar and kind of, so anyway, but I was asked to do the job and I still have a job to do, so here we go. This young man that's going to receive this award, you think about an entrepreneur, what is an entrepreneur? They kind of see things different than most people. They head down the highway and they see a vacant lot or they see an empty building, what can I build on that lot or what can I put in that building to create jobs and opportunities for other people. And that's what entrepreneurs do, they don't just create success themselves, they bring a lot of people along with them. They create success and opportunities for lots of other people. So thank goodness for entrepreneurs, and we don't have any Donald Trumps in this town, but we have some that are doing things on a significant level right here in our small little community. And the person that's going to win this award, if somebody stopped me on the street and asked me, who's the hardest working person you know in this community, I'd have to put this person right at the top of the list. I don't know of anybody that works any harder at what he does. It takes him more pride in what he does. He grew up in a rural area. He worked very hard as a young man. He kind of got up out of bed every morning, hit the road running and looking for somebody to help bale hay or cut tobacco or strip tobacco or set tobacco or cut grass. He was always busy doing something. And I think he developed that entrepreneurial spirit at a very young age. He told me a few months ago that, and this is going to give it away because he's going to know who I'm talking about when I say this. He told me a few months ago that if he didn't get at least an hour or an hour and a half work done before daylight every morning, he felt like he's starting the day behind. So, but as a young man, he came to his parents and said, I like to buy something. I said, so, what do most 18-year-olds really want to buy? Maybe a four-wheeler or a truck or a car or a Xbox 14. I don't know what number they're on, but anyway, he never had one because he never had time to play it. So, but he said, he told his parents, he said, I'd like to buy a house. Okay. That's what every 19-year-old wants to buy, is buy a house. So he had one, he had his eye on one, and it was truly a fixer-upper special that he talked to the folks that owned the house. He didn't have to have a real estate agent to broker the deal for him. He negotiated the price. He arranged the financing, and in a couple of weeks, these guys figured out he was serious and he owned the house. So he worked on that house every day after work, every weekend, every holiday, and after 11 months, he was ready to move into this house. It was a beautiful house. And what he realized, upstairs there were 10 empty bedrooms. So that entrepreneurial spirit kicked in. He said, I'll rent those to two of my best friends. So that's what he did. He rented those two upstairs bedrooms to his best friends, and I don't think they made all the payment, but they made most of it. So, and that probably fueled his desire for rental property. This year, he just completed the final stage on the new rental development here in Springfield and Virgin Heights. There's, I think right now, our county has 20-some pieces of rental property, best I can figure. A beautiful development there. But you know, entrepreneurs see things in a different spirit. And when we bought that piece of property, he looked at it, and he told me what his vision was for it, what it was going to look like, and you know, a couple of old barns and old buildings and hollers and trees, and he told me exactly what it was going to look like. And I left there. I said, well, he has quite a vision of what he's going to do here. But when he completed this year, it looked just like that. It was everything just like he described the day he said what he wanted to do with that piece of property. And then this past year, along with a good school friend of his, they opened up the new Oil Pros Instant Oil Change here in Springfield. And that was idea of his lovely wife. That was her idea. He's been a partner in the Lincoln Hills subdivision development on Lincoln Park Road ever since it started a few years ago. A couple of new houses went up out there this past year. A few more went up this next year. But you know him best from his core business that he started 10 years ago last week, Smith Contracting, Heating, Cooling. He started that with a bald pickup truck, and it's a business that's built on hard work, trust, integrity, a commitment to the customer, a lot of dedication to what he does. But the thing, Juan, would you come up, please? I'd like my wife, Juan, to come here with me, please. The thing that really makes this young man the person that he is, and that's fueled his success in everything, is his unconditional love for God, his family, his beautiful grandchildren. He'll never, ever talk to you about his success in business. He won't talk about it. But he would love to talk to you about hunting and fishing and turkey hunting, deer hunting, camping with the kids, doing all those fun things, the things he really loves to do. But for a young man, he has such a balance in his life between work, family, God, in that reverse order. So it gives me immense pride, you'll never know how much, to introduce to you tonight the winner of the first ever Springfield, Washington County Entrepreneur of the Year Award to my best friend, our son, Wesley Smith.
I don't know if there's much else to say here. I think he pretty well covered it. And it's not too fair to have to step in here and give a speech that you had no idea that you were going to have to give. But I've always thought to myself, if I could stand in front of all the people who, you know, including my parents, my two wonderful sisters, my lovely wife, and tell them how much, you know, I appreciate everything that the community has done for myself, putting me in this opportunity tonight. I take a few minutes to thank them for, you know, all the people that have allowed me to come into their home, put a new furnace in, new air conditioner. You know, this is all a credit to you guys. You know, you are who makes an entrepreneur, a small business, and Springfield's been great in accepting that, and I just can't tell you how much, you know, I really do appreciate that. And it's like my parents said, you know, all the love that they've given me throughout the years, you know, that's priceless. but the big, they taught me how to work at a very young age, and they taught me how to work really hard at that. But they also taught me how to go to church on Sunday, get on your knees, and thank the Lord for everything that He's given you, and that for sure is very priceless. So I've got to thank them so much for that. But real quick, just thinking about this, Dad telling so many stories on me. I want to tell one real quick, I guess, on him, and I'll keep it short and sweet. I think I know how this goes. There's a lady in the crowd tonight. I'm going to call her out in just a second, but we grew up milking cows, cutting hay, chopping silage and stuff like that. And I remember Dad pulling me aside one day, and he said, "You're going to be responsible for feeding the cows at the Warren farm." And I thought, wow, that's sure, I'll take care of that. So I hop in the truck, which is a 5-speed pickup, head up. The only problem is you had to get out on the county road, to get to this farm. And as soon as I pop around a curve, I meet this lady named Glenna Graves. She's looking, she's staring, she's pulled over on the edge of the road, and of course she could probably barely see me over the steering wheel. But I guess after I passed her, she must have stopped at the farm and said, "Steve, do you have any idea what your son is doing?" And I guess Dad said, "Well, he better be heading to the Warren farm to feed those cows." And she said, "Steve, he's only 9. So from then on, every time I met Miss Graves, she would hit the ditch. She would stare, but I guess she came to accept the fact that the cows at the Warren farm had to be fed, and I was going to be the guy doing it. So, besides my parents, my customer, but all the guys here, people I'm looking at tonight, I've got to thank my wife. She is my rock. She's my backbone. She's everything to me. Besides the greatest wife ever, she's the greatest mother ever. So with that, I just want to say I love you, and thank you all very much.